Good afternoon, everybody. We are excited to have you guys here for the 10,000 Hymns Challenge. We wanted to just start with a performance piece for 2 pianos, 8 hands, and 2 bigotes, and 2 sombreros. Take it away. Thank you. Those of you who would like a copy of that piece, I could go ahead and just email that out to everybody I've been sending emails to if you'd like. Okay, I'll just email you the PDF for that. This is the 10,000 Hymn Challenge, and it was inspired by something that's actually been concerning to a lot of us piano teachers. We have noticed a decline in interest in piano lessons. And we were talking to Dane's Music here, and Joel stated that fact a little earlier, and he confirmed it with Kerwin, and he said, have you seen a decline in piano sales, music sales, piano lessons? And he said, over the past 10 years, what did he say?
The past 10 years, it was about a one-third, two-thirds decrease.
A two-thirds decline.
Piano.
How many of you feel that's a bit alarming? So, how many feel like, what is going on and why are we losing that? Some of you will recall when everybody was expected to play piano. It was just something good parents did. If you were a good parent, you put your kid in piano lessons whether they wanted it or not. And if they didn't like to practice because their teacher had slapped their wrist with a ruler, they said, yeah, that was just too bad because that's what we do. And it was, shortly after that where the boys started to decline. The girls kept taking lessons. Boys started to decline in lessons. I think now it's become just an extracurricular activity. It's not something that everybody does. And the less people do it, the more it's going to decline because they feel like they're on their own and they're an outcast doing this. So we came up with this idea to spark a new interest. Let me just give you a little bit of background. I did my doctorate in piano performance and pedagogy, and I started teaching at a university, and then I switched to an elementary school. And I decided I was going to take all 350 kids and teach them piano. And so what we did is we got keyboards and computers and had these little kindergartners come in, second graders, all the way through 5th grade. And we would teach them piano. And the parents didn't even know they were learning piano. So we'd do a concert, and the parents would come in. And I remember this one girl, she had learned this really cool song, and her dad leaned over and said, I didn't even know she played the piano. So never told her parents she was even playing. And so I thought, what if we could implement it in the school system and teach every single child? Would it be beneficial? Yeah. I would say if you're here, it's because you believe that piano is good for us. It's good for your soul. It's good for your mind. It enhances your life. However, we have to figure out a way to stop the decline. So this is our solution to try to put in a little bit of excitement. And we're asking for your help in this movement. Over here is a web page called Learn to Play the Hymns Challenge. It's called learntoplaythehymns.com. If you want to write that down, I'm also going to pass around these challenge cards here. Did I go too far? I just went to sleep. And on the bottom of this has the website. So,
Same one that you just spoke.
yes, it is. So you don't even have to write it down as long as you get one of these pass-along cards. And I think we have probably enough for 10 cards for everybody. So before I pass those out, I'm going to explain what this is. Let me tell you a quick story. I had a big Samoan missionary walk into my studio one day, and he wanted to do emails, because that's usually where they did that. So this big Samoan missionary walks in, introduces himself, and I say, hey, do you play the piano? He's like, play the what? I said, I would like to give you a challenge. I said, since you don't play the piano, I'd like you to learn a hymn. Today's Tuesday. I want you to play it in church on Sunday. And so I was kind of surprised at his answer. He said, okay, tell me what to do. So we threw him in. I'm like, I like this guy. He's willing to do anything. So let me show you just a quick video. I'm going to go to the YouTube.
How's it going? My name's Elder Falatau. I'm from California. Miller Park in the San Francisco Bay Area. Missionary. And I've been challenged to learn a hymn in 7 days. Yeah.
I can't believe you put pop on my piano. After 5 days, you did it? A little nerve-wracking after not a pianist. The singing could use a little help. Typical priesthood session. Now, there's a big difference between learning a hymn and playing it with a bunch of people singing, for somebody who's never played the piano before. Now, I had always been under the impression that we start hymns about a few years into lessons when they can finally read, because they're not easy to read. And it's too much work to train somebody how to play a hymn, spoon-feeding them notes. So I just typically waited till they're about 3 years in, and for them to be able to read hymns, usually it's like 4 to 6 years in, depending on how much they practice. So being able to do this, to me, is a miracle of our modern day technology. I want to show you really quickly how it's done. I need somebody who's not a pianist. Not a pianist. Brandon. You don't play, you're not a pianist? Nope. Let me hear your story.
Okay. You want me to go up there?
Yeah, Michelle, would you join him? So I'm going to introduce, I'm sorry you married into my family. The piano's just part of our lives. But he really wanted to impress my daughter and me. So go ahead and tell him the story. Do you want to give another mic? Mine's all tucked in.
We can talk about it.
Well, we got it recorded, so you can just hold it and just put it up to your mouth.
Okay, well, I'm Michelle. I am Aaron's daughter. This is my husband, Brandon. We were married not long ago, in June. And I guess, unfortunately for Brandon, my dad has really high standards. And he had 3 stipulations about Brandon being able to marry me. One was that he had to learn to drive a stick shift, because he didn't know how to do that. One was to be able to dunk a basketball. And the other was to learn to play the piano. 3 things that he couldn't do. So he was able to learn to drive a stick shift, and he was able to learn to play the piano a little bit. He still can't dunk, and I don't think that's ever going to happen, but my dad kind of was a little more lenient on that one. But I'll just let Brandon kind of tell his story with piano.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'm Brandon. I grew up in California, so we didn't really have stick shifts there. So yeah, growing up, when I was about 8, I took piano lessons. My mom kind of forced me to do it. My mom was one of those good parents. I was like, yep, do it. And as I took piano lessons, I was only in them for about 3 months. And my teacher moved out here to Utah. And that was that. That was my piano playing experience. And so this was 15 years ago. And then fall of last year, I took a piano class at BYU, Idaho. So, because I figured, Michelle's on her mission. I guess I can learn to play a little bit. So that's what I did. It was just a 14-week class, and it was very basic. I learned that my thumb was finger number 1 and my pinky was finger number 5. And we learned very slowly. So when I left the class, I could read notes on the staff, and I knew where middle C was and stuff like that, but I was never really challenged to play in front of people or to do anything like that. Our assignments, we would record songs by ourselves, and then we would submit them. And there was a time when I was learning how to play the entertainer, very basically, and as I was recording it, I was probably on, I had probably tried recording this at least 50 times, and it frustrated me to the point where I threw my phone. and I broke my phone because that's how frustrated I was playing the piano. And I don't know, growing up, I was never one of those kids that like, I don't know, like it was just a struggle, I guess, for me to play piano, because no one in my family is this into music, like Michelle's family. So I remember as a missionary, when I served in her ward, I'd go over to her house and we'd, whether I was eating dinner or teaching investigators, and someone would always be playing the piano, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but that was like never a thing in my family. So I don't know. This past week, I was asked to learn a hymn, and I don't know how I did.
Yeah, I asked him this Monday. I was like, because I'm out here right now. We just moved here right after we got married, and we're actually headed up to Rexburg right away because we're going to school up there. But for this little time, I'm teaching hymns at a studio in Provo, just for free. Whatever kid wants to come in, or whatever adult, whoever, and just learn the hymns. And it was like the first week I was doing it this week, so I had nobody yet. So I was like, so I need your help. Can you come in and learn a hymn this week and play it on Friday? And he was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay, being the good husband that he is. And he did it, and it took him 3 hours. So it was pretty amazing as a piano teacher to see that. Like, wow. Because he has a little bit of piano experience, but not much, and he was certainly not confident in it. He still never played for anyone, especially not a large group. And so that's what we're going to have him do today. We're all going to sing while he plays a hymn for us for the first time in his life. So
It's a little scary. If you crash and burn, we will laugh at you. No, we won't. You crash and burn, it's all part of life. It's nobody expects you to get through it. Let's see how it goes. Do you have the book? So this is the one you started Monday?
Yeah.
It took you 2 days to learn it. And we're going to show you the process. As soon as we get through this. You have the lyrics there? What hymn did you do?
I did We Thank Thee, O God, for a Prophet.
Okay. I like starting with that one because it's one that actually learns pretty fast. It's in C position. What's that? Oh, you got to sign in yours. Oh, Jules signed in right there. Yeah. Just click on my name. Or yours. While they're doing that, I'm going to pass these around. Take 10 and pass them down. These are little pass-along cards that you can give out. If there's extras, we'll see how many extras we have. Know where to pass them. You should take some. Yeah. There we go. Take 10 or so and pass them down. Take 10 or so. Actually, you don't have anywhere to pass them. Any extras, you can just put it back on the table over there. I'm sure he's not nervous at all, right?
No.
Are you playing an intro?
Yes.
Okay, so we get an intro. We could, because typically you'd have somebody lead it. We'll let Michelle do that. You want to go where he can see you? Oh. So it takes a whole nother level to be able to follow somebody leading, right? Let's see if this worked.
This will be the intro.
bestowed by thy bounteous rent. We feel it a pleasure to serve thee, and love to obey thy command. When dark clouds of trouble hang over us, and threaten our peace to destroy, there is hope smiling brightly before us, and we know that deliverance is nigh. We doubt not the Lord nor his goodness. We proved him in days that are past. The wicked who fight against Zion will surely be smitten at last. We shall sing of his goodness and mercy. We'll praise him by day and by night. Rejoice in his glorious gospel, and bask in his life-giving light. The song to eternal perfection, the honest and faithful will go, while they who reject this glad message shall never such happiness know. All right, you're in. You're gonna stay in the family. You passed. Oh yeah, it's too late. He's married. All right, I'll tell you this. I am impressed that it's possible to get somebody who's not learned to play the piano that quickly to learn it. So we're gonna show you how it's done with the marvels of technology. Actually, Brandon,
Yep.
you're back on. I think I'll show it with you. So, let's go in, and on the back of your cards, what I did is I put some pieces that are pretty easy that I would recommend. And so I would say pick one of those to work on. Have you done Teach Me to Walk in the Light?
Nope.
All right, let's do that one. We're going to start from the very beginning. So everybody here who's never seen this will be able to see how to do it. We're going to go to pianomarvel.com. And one thing you'll know, the hymns are completely a free program. So you can have anybody do it. There is no cost. So first thing, go to pianomarvel.com and you click Practice, or log into Practice Now, the big blue link, or Launch App at the top. At this point, you log in. If you haven't logged in yet, you need to create a free account. There's a little button right there. Can you click on the Create a Free Account? What it does is opens a new tab. And if you scroll down, you'll see that little orange thing. Click on that. Create a free account. And then scroll down so we can see this. You just fill in these boxes. Click that I accept and I'm not a robot at the bottom. Yeah, go to the side. And you don't have to do that. You go ahead and close that tab. And then once you've done that, your account's up and started. So it takes about 30 seconds. So Brandon already has an account. Go ahead and log into it. I'll mention that there is a Remember Me right there, so you don't have to log in every time. You can click the saved logins. And You'll continue with the free account. And in the library, he's got 2 songs. I'm guessing one of them is the Hymns Made Easy, and the other one's Hymn Made Easy Mini Boot Camp. Okay, go over into, actually go back up above. That is the search for new titles. Yeah. So, where do you learn these hymns? There are a number of hymns that we're going to open to this challenge. It could be from the LDS Hymns Made Easy or the selected hymns, any song, any of the hymns out of there. Plus there are also traditional hymns that we're opening up. So we're going to be doing the Hal Leonard. I think within a month we're going to do all the Hal Leonard hymns. They've got traditional hymns. The other ones we're going to do is a new book that we're going to show you today that Alfred Publishing Company just put out. So for now, we're looking for that title, Teach Me to Walk. I think it's toward the bottom of the book. Anybody know what page that's on? No, in the Hymns Made Easy book. Found it, page 83? Okay. So it looks like he's actually started this one. All right. So go ahead and open up that very first one. And the goal here is just to fill out all those stars. Let me back up. So I forget sometimes. I assume everybody knows all this. Over here, if you scroll down, you'll see all these stars. Once those stars are completed, the song is mastered. It's ready to go. And that's all he has to do, is just go. So what it does is it breaks down a piece systematically into phrases. Right hand, left hand, hands together. Next phrase, right hand, left hand, hands together. At 3 speeds, slow, medium, and then up to speed. And then it puts the first part together with the second part, and then we move on to the next part. So systematically, you learn this piece, but without somebody spoon-feeding you. So open up the very first method, and I want to show them the 3 things that he has to work with. First is this one right up here at the top called, I'm going to go over here, Watch Video Tutorial. The second tool is the Prepare mode, and the last one, to finally pass it off, is Assess. So first, click on the Watch Video, and expand the video to the full screen. You can press play or the space bar. You put your hand into position. Now it'll automatically go on to the next section, but he should probably stop it there and either go backwards and practice with it. Or if he feels like he's confident enough to start it, he just closes the video, clicks on Prepare, and it'll wait for him to play a note. Now play the wrong note. I don't know if you know that note or not. Hold it. How close is he? Really close, and he can see that by his red dot. Go a little lower. Now come up a little higher. Now just one note coming down until you hit the E. Once you get the E, it moves on to the next one. Go ahead and play the rest of it. Nice. Do you feel ready to pass it off? You've actually practiced this part before. Go ahead and hit the Assess button now that he feels confident with that. And let's see if he can get 100% or how close he gets. So now he's got 100% on that section, which he's already done. I don't know when you passed that off. Was it? Do you have any idea?
It might have been Wednesday.
Wednesday? Looking for a song to do? Okay. How do you get to the next section easily? Some of you know this really, really well. There are 3 ways to do it. One is the forward button, or on your keyboard there's a forward button, or you can close it and manually go back to that grid of stars. So let's just hit the forward button. So if this is the same thing, what's the difference, do you think? It's a little faster. Okay. Go ahead and just to close that. Since we know you already have this one, let's go to something you haven't done yet, which is the next line of the left hand. So question, do you think you need the video, or are you ready to go right to prepare?
I think I can do it.
All right, let's skip the video.
Would the video jump to the left hand?
Actually, go ahead and click on the video, and let's see if it's bookmarked to the left hand. So you can see where it's bookmarked. It jumps right to where they're going to be practicing. Great question, thank you. So now it's the left hand. Go ahead and escape.
I gotta see where it's at.
All right, the cool thing about the prepare button is you can play a note, and if you're off, you just move until you find the C position. So let's go to the prepare, and we'll watch you go through that. It won't exit. Oh, there it is. He's actually learned quite a bit. That's impressive. Are you ready to assess? Now, one of the things I want you to observe that happens pedagogically in this process. Go ahead and click assess.
1.
Usually their timing is really bad.
Go.
What'd you notice about his eyes? Were you watching them? How far is he through the song? Anybody know? Do you see that thing in the corner? 9%. This is so hard upside down. Thank you. He's 9% of the way complete with the song. What does that completion thing do to somebody? It makes them feel like they're accomplishing it. Before they're thinking, this is a huge project. Now he's thinking, I'm almost 10% of the way done with this, and I've hardly spent any time. I could do this in like 2 days. It really takes a job, and it makes you feel like I can see the big picture here. It's not as hard as I thought it was. Zoom back out, and we're going to watch you go to the next speed. Hit the forward button, space bar. I think it'll jump to 11% once you pass this.
1, set, go.
It's not overwhelming either because you can focus just on that left hand. But what's happening to him orally? He's hearing how the right hand fits into it. And so while he's being able to focus on that, go ahead and go to the next part. And why do we do all 3 speeds? Anybody have an idea? Why do 3 speeds?
Repetition.
Repetition? What does it do to your memory, your muscle memory? It builds it into your muscle memory, freeing up what? Brain processing. So that's why we do it. Hand separate and slow, medium, and fast. Go ahead.
1, set, go.
You are now at what percent? This 13%. Now he's saying, this is so easy until what? All right, here's the real test. Move forward. Let's go ahead and hit the prepare button, unless you need the video. At this point, I don't think he even needs the video. He's done both hands separately. It's just a coordination issue now. Go ahead. That was actually better than I expected. One red note, only 14 seconds to do it. Go ahead and do it again. Hit the prepare button, and I want to see if you can improve that. Did he improve? He has 0 red notes and 13 seconds. So now, think about what this does to your brain as you see this, how many red notes you got, and how long it took you to do it. Automatically, it gives you a goal. I can do better than that. I can do it faster, and I can do it with less mistakes. And so when you're practicing with a goal like that, in small chunks, it tends to be very efficient practice, which means you can learn music about 10 times faster. And it is phenomenal that it just walks you through a perfect practice technique. How old do you think these practice techniques are? Practice slow. Anybody tried that one before? So we didn't just make that up? Practice slow. Who likes to practice slow of your students? Nobody. They don't even think about it here. All they're after is that score. So they're not even thinking, I'm too impatient to practice slow. They're just thinking, I can do this, I can get that. And then they go faster, and then we can't separate. So all those pieces that you've been trying to train your students how to do, that they're too impatient to do, this splits it up automatically. So they practice perfectly, and they learn songs like that. And it's built into their hands really, really well. So go ahead and hit assess. Let's see how bad you are. I mean, how good you are.
1, set, go.
%. He was a little bit, what? A little bit late, but it shows the right notes. And so the red dot just shows him he was a little late, but he was right on the right note. How valuable is that feedback? Very valuable, because he knows what to fix now. Do it again, and let's see if it does, if you can fix it.
1, set, go.
Did he get that one on time? We call that an ornament. It was good. No, it was pretty. The computer didn't like the ornament. So we all liked it. Let's do it again. You're at 93%. Just let me explain the trophy system really fast. If he gets an 80%, he gets a bronze trophy. 90% silver, 96 gold. What are we after? 100. So you get a gold trophy with a little white star in the middle of it. Now, let me talk to you really quickly about the missionary got a little cocky, and so he did another song, and he decided, I got this, and he didn't get 100% on everything. And he tried to play it, and he was shocked at the difference it made. He's like, I was totally confident when I had worked till I had 100%. When I had worked till I just passed it off with my 80%, I got this. He hadn't put in the routine and that structured practice of perfecting it. And when he got in front of people, that next time he tried to play it, he just kind of froze up, and he decided, I need to get it. I need to go back and get 100% all of these. So take us to learntoplaythehymns.com, and you can go back to your seat. Thank you so much. So what you do, if you go on to the website, learntoplaythehymns.com, this is where we're tracking it. This, just a moment ago, said 50,000, what did it say, 94? It said 85. That means in the time that we were working here, 9 more people started a hymn.
Somewhere in the world.
Somewhere in the world. We don't know where. So, over here, the hymns completed is 3,323. Those are people who've gone in and completed it with at least an 80% on every single star. Now, the hard part is to get 100%. 362 people have completed a hymn with 100%. And what is our goal by the end of this year? 10,000. Okay, so the question is, should we set a goal to say, hey, just at least get them completed, 10,000 people just to complete a hymn? Or should we go for perfecting it? Joel thinks he'd be happy if 10,000 people just completed it. I mean, that is a big goal, a great accomplishment. I'd really like to see this one get up to 10,000. And I've actually committed myself to get 100 people. Doesn't matter whether they've played it or not. They could have played lessons and I'll have them go in there and perfect a song. Or if they haven't. I want to get a bunch of people who have never played the piano to learn. And I'd like for you guys to join with us and let's go out there and make a goal to get more people to do it. The tools are there for the very first time. This is something that anybody can do. And it doesn't take a ton of sitting down spoon feeding. You just train them how to use the tools, the video, the stars, the forward button, the prepare mode, and then they're good. Yes?
How young of a child can do this?
That's a very good question. What's that, Michelle?
It depends a lot on the child.
It really does depend on, is it a boy or a girl? Girls can sit longer than boys.
I was just thinking that I right now have a 7-year-old who I started on a community just to see if he could do it, and he won't let me take him back to something easier now that he started, but he can't do it yet.
So at age 7, this boy is
But
challenging.
I have another 7-year-old girl who was totally ready for it, and she's nailed it. So,
Yeah.
But that's not boy girl thing. Like you said, that's just every kid is different. So it just
Every
depends
kid
on
is different.
Coordination, the practice they've already had with piano.
And you'll find some adults, even they get in there and they just can't move their digits, and I don't know why. Maybe they've never done anything with the digits before, with that coordination, and it's hard not because they can't get it up here, it's just they don't have coordination in their fingers. And the other people, if they've played sports or whatever, it seems to have helped their coordination. So it really just depends on the person. I would honestly experiment with a 4-year-old. I'd try and get a smart 4-year-old and try it out on them. And then if you get them to do it, go on to the Facebook page, Learn to Play the Hymns Facebook, and brag on them. Say, I got a 4-year-old, just passed the song off. By the way, you might want to write that down. It's the Facebook page, Learn to Play the Hymns Facebook. And then you can go in there and make comments. And
Consider connecting to electric piano. I have a Bluetooth on my electric piano.
oh, that's awesome.
And I can connect into, I have a came with a program that I can connect to. That would be way cool to be able to, you still have to use an iPad, but I just was curious.
Yes, it does connect with Bluetooth. This piano, in fact, is Bluetooth equipped. If I had my iPad, I could just click on the Bluetooth and connect through Bluetooth. That does bring us to the point. How many of you have questions about what equipment you need? Okay, let's go over that equipment questions right now. Do you want me to take that, or do you want to tell them what you would recommend?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so as far as equipment, you might have been wondering, well, how is this happening here, this voodoo going on with this piano? What we've got here is a piano scan system is installed on this piano. And what that means is it's a sensor strip with laser lights that actually sense the movement of the keys. It's made by a company called QRS. They make great systems for that, and those can be put on any acoustic piano. As a matter of fact, Dane's Music specializes in retrofitting any piano with a system like this. So if you're interested in that, talk to them here at Dane's Music about that. Just one second. The other options, though, is you can use basically any digital keyboard, any digital piano, as long as it's MIDI capable, which 99% of all digital keyboards out there are. So essentially what you could do is use a digital keyboard, connect to your computer with like a USB cable, and you basically have everything you need to as far as your connection to get set up. So it could be even just a simple portable keyboard, or digital piano, anything like that. Sorry, yeah.
Okay, I was wondering, does it have to be Word, or does it have to be the other?
Word?
Microsoft.
I think she means PC.
Oh, Mac
PC or Mac?
Mac or PC, yeah. It runs on PC, Mac, or iPad. You can do it on any of those platforms.
Can you use your phone?
Currently not. Yeah.
That's being developed, but you can't yet.
Yeah. So that's essentially like the simple part of the setup. It doesn't take a lot. I know some people that have even just gone on KSL and found a used keyboard and got that if they didn't have what they needed. But the magic behind it is, that method of learning that you just kind of saw demonstrated, and to see like Elder Falateo that learned that song so quickly. These are people who don't have music backgrounds, who are learning hymns in sometimes only one day or less than a week at any rate, which is amazing. And if you talk to the piano teaching community outside and say, how long do your students does it take to learn to play the hymns?
Years.
Years. You hear that consistently, teachers say, it takes years. Well, it takes years with a traditional approach. But this is an opportunity that people can jump in and start learning and playing music. And it's not a gimmick. It's not a way of getting around something. It's a way of getting effective in targeting the learning method in the fastest way possible. And they are gaining the other piano learning skills at the same time that they need. But it's really been remarkable to see how fast they can go from knowing nothing to being ready to play in front of an audience. Yes?
Is there like a tutorial on the website that kind of explains how to use the website if I wanted to send this to somebody that I couldn't sit down with and actually show them?
Yeah. So on this website, Learn to Play the Hymns, there's some more instructions about it. And then as you lead into pianomarvel.com, there's video tutorials. There's actually, I'll just show you quickly. When you log in, do you have it open?
There's a
on one of these
number
tabs?
1 and a number 2 on that website. The one we're doing is number 1. If you click on the number 1, that's the Learn to Play hymn. It has 2 videos. The first video is the missionary. The second one is an explanation of how to do it.
Yep. This walks you through setting up the account, going in, where to find the hymns in Piano Marvel. And again, I know Aaron already mentioned this, but this is completely free. They can go in there and use this hymn system for free. Piano Marvel, if you're not familiar with it, there is a huge library of music in the Piano Marvel system. I think over 5,000 pieces spread out throughout. And there's a free trial account where you have access to everything in that library. But after the first 30 days, if you want to keep access to all of the content, It's a monthly subscription, but the hymns are always free, unlimited. So anybody that wants to go in and learn hymns would never need to get a subscription. That's the LDS hymns, of course. Now, Aaron does have those books there. That is the, is that the
This is the
Hallel?
Alfred.
The Alfred
They
one.
just published this book. Has anybody heard of this one? It's Play Mormon Hymns. So Alfred just published this one, and we are opening this one to the contest. I think in June. What's next month? August. I think it's in August, maybe even sooner. What's nice about this is it's a level 1 and a teacher accompaniment, which is really cool. And I know Dane's just stocked these up, so if you want to get a copy, there's not quite enough for everybody. So grab a copy before you leave of book 1, 2, and 3. These are a great resource. I think you can go ahead and just play through them if you want as well. But as you go out there, they're just on the little table there. Yes?
I have several students in that 3 to 6 year range that can play from a regular hymn book, or starting to. Can they learn?
Absolutely.
You have that one on there.
It is. It's the selected hymns. Yeah. Or you could just type in a hymn name and just pull up any hymn.
And I think that's one of the really neat things about this is if someone is very young and just only able to learn maybe, like you're questioning, someone brought up the question of, well, what about like a 4-year-old or someone very young like that? These hymns, as soon as they're in the system, are going to be probably your easiest way of learning. They're mostly single hand or very simple single line pieces. Now the ones that Brandon did here that he played earlier are from the
More like
Hymns
level
Made
4
Easy.
and 5 compared to this is a level 1.
That's from the Hymns Made Easy, and then the selected hymns are I think about roughly 60 of the standardized hymns, which are the full 4-part hymns as well. So they can learn. If you have more advanced students, you can have them do that. Somebody who doesn't know piano, teenager or adult, could jump straight into the Hymns Made Easy.
Are they in the key signatures of the actual hymn book? Or are the key signatures?
The Hymns Made Easy?
No, on the more advanced 4-part.
Yes.
Well, the select hymns are exactly the same.
Yeah, they're
They
the
are the
exact.
hymns from the Green Hymn Book.
Yep.
Okay.
They haven't
Hymns
been
Made Easy, they
simplified or
changed.
changed. Yep.
Some of them.
Do you by chance have a guesstimate of how much it costs to put that system into a
$1,500. Did that scare you?
Well,
It's a cool system.
it's a really cool system, and if you think about the cost of a nice digital piano, it's actually much cheaper, and then you
You get your
have
real piano.
and
with
you
it.
have real piano keys to play on, which is very nice.
Now, let's say somebody doesn't have $1,500. Have you seen the little keyboards over at the Church Distribution Center? They are equipped with a MIDI and an auxiliary port, which means you can plug them into your computer, and you can also plug your sound system into it, so you can hear your device through the piano, which is kind of cool. How much are these? $110.
$110.
I have no idea how they sell them that cheap. $110. That's something that you can pick up and even loan out to people.
How many
To
keys
do it.
does it have?
61, which is the same size as an organ. So it is not weighted, but it does have key velocity, which means you can play dynamics. Of course, if you want to, you can obviously get one of the digital pianos as well. It starts there and goes as hard as you want. There's a Craigslist thing here.
KSL.
KSL, never heard of it. But I hear you can just go up there and look for keyboards. You can get them like $30.
Yep.
Just make sure that they have a MIDI port or a USB port so they can connect. Yes?
So if a student has an acoustic piano, they can't use this unless they have piano scan, is that right?
They actually can use it, but it's a mode that they don't get the feedback. And that's the magic of it, is the feedback.
Okay, so if they have a digital piano, they will get the feedback.
That's right.
How can they use the headphones as well?
You don't if you're well, there's a device that we have over here you can look at that is a split cable. We've got a couple of different styles over here.
So how would you recommend it if they want to practice and use their headphones?
You don't want to hear them play?
Well, if they're at home and.
If they're home. Somebody doesn't want to
Or
hear.
if they're using my digital piano while I'm teaching on an acoustic piano.
Yes. Yeah, we do that all the time. In fact, in my studio, I've got 6 pianos and they're all in headphones.
The answer to that question is it depends on your piano, because some are going to have like an auxiliary input. And if it has that, then you can connect a cable from your computer to the auxiliary input, and then you can plug headphones into your piano. If it doesn't have that, then there's another cable we'd recommend that bypasses that, but then you can still have it in your headphones. So it just kind of depends on what kind of connections your piano has.
So it's past 5:30. I think we'll go ahead. Joel and I are going to stay here and answer questions for people who still have some questions. Everyone else who would like to split, I will be sending out an email reminder on this. We'll keep track of the numbers. So when you go in and you get a student to do it, make sure to look at the number and see. Just what you do is you have them play the song, refresh the page, and that number should change.
And you'll send us that music that you played.
And I will send you a PDF of that music that we played at the beginning. All right, thank you guys. These books are available for sale, and so are these hymn books, and so are the cables. So you guys can take off. We'll see you later. Some of you guys are coming tomorrow at 8 in the morning. Get a good night's sleep.
This one's more about what we call the hymns boot camp, and
they've mastered it with a perfect score.
The hymn.
It counts as 2. Yeah, so if they do 10 songs, it counts as 10. Thank you. Good, Ian Yudi. So, what do you think?
I'm excited.
Can you get some people to do it?
To do
The hymn?
Yeah, I have several students.
Awesome.
And also people in Mormon.
Okay. Perfect. All right. I'm trying to think. That's a big goal. 10,000.
I think it's possible. I actually have been talking to my bishop about trying teaching people hymns.
I think it should be a calling.
People that are interested. But I like this a lot better because then they can do it on by themselves.
Yeah, and you can just show them how to do it and be their cheerleader and say, you can do it. Yeah. The QSR or the piano scan. Ask Dane's Music. Yeah, they might have it out there. Oh yeah, it's a cool device. I got one in my piano. Yeah. Well, that's installed. You could put it in yourself and ask them how much it would cost if you just came in and got the box. It's like in a box that big. Yeah. I put mine in myself with my technician. No, there's just way too many keys and strings. Yeah, there's too many acoustics going on in the piano. One day, it'll happen. We have a version of Piano Marble that reads one pitch, but there are issues if it's like out of tune, or it picks up people singing, or just noises going on. So, I mean, this is the best way because you just play it, and it just reads it as a signal. There's no crosstalk at all. You attempted to create your own, you mean? Yeah. Send me an email if you want to really get into it. You have my email. Do you? Okay. It's contact@pianomarble.com. attempting it, and some claim they can read 4 pitches at a time. No, it leaves a lot for a professional situation. It leaves a lot. Underneath? That'd be cool. Can you build it straight into the device of the iPad, your iPad microphone? Yeah, can you use that? That's why it's easier. It's easier on iPad because there's one iPad. You go Android and there's like 1,000 different microphones. That's right. Yeah, definitely. It is, no, this one's actually plugged in. It does have a Bluetooth, but PC Bluetooth capability, which is stupid. It's Windows 10 already, and they still don't have Bluetooth for MIDI. Yeah, Mac does. You can do it on Mac, you can do it on iPad. iPhone, you can do it on iPad. For some reason, Windows is just not the highest priority. I figured for sure Windows 10 would have it. I heard lots of talk that it would. Windows 10? I haven't seen one yet. I've heard people say they can do it. I've never seen it. Connect MIDI through Bluetooth. MIDI to Bluetooth on PC. Yeah, I mean, obviously they can connect headphones Bluetooth. Yeah, dude, see what you find out. Let me know, because that's very of high interest to us. Without connecting to. Yeah, definitely. As long as it's in tune. Or maybe something you can configure, like go through chromatically the whole piano and just like, all right, set the tune. What is it?
No rush, it's not very one note at a time, so it's immensely simpler, but you play middle C.
Okay. And it uses a microphone for that. Okay.
I like it.
I'll have to try it out. See what I think. It's good to meet you. Okay. All right. That's great.
These books are in the inventory here.
They actually are.
Well, not these particular copies, she said. At least they don't think they are. So when I need to figure out how to buy them.
They are.
Okay.
They have them in their. Oh. So.
Okay, good to see you. And then where are these? Where are they?
They're right here.
Oh, right here.
These.
Need to buy one of those books over there. Most of them, but
Oh. Thank you. Yep. We'll get it working. Thank you. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
Me too, man.
I'm dragged.
Going to bed early.
I'm dragged.